Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Afternoon Bell. My name is Lisa Hayward, and I work in the Bureau of Student Wellness at the NH Department of Education. Our team will be joining you via YouTube, live stream Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. for the Afternoon Bell, which is an opportunity to discuss issues and provide supports to hashtag NH educators and hashtag NH families at hashtag NH learns remotely. You can find our live broadcasts as well as previously recorded sessions on our YouTube channel, NH Student Wellness. And we encourage you to follow us on Twitter at NH Schools and on Facebook at NH Student Wellness, where you can find live morning coffee chats, weekdays at 9 a.m. and a wealth of other resources. The department is also updating our remote learning website, nhlearnsremotely.com, so check that out for info about remote instruction and supports. The title of our session today is Seize the Awkward and hashtag Real Convo. It's the third installation with our partners at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Area Director Shamra Simpson and New Hampshire Chapter Chair Lisa Riley will be joining us. They're going to be joining us each Monday throughout the month. This afternoon, we're going to talk about these two campaigns run by AFSP that remind us why it's so vital to ask people about their mental health, as challenging as that conversation may be. As always, please feel free to leave questions and comments in the chat box, and we'll make sure to connect with you either during the presentation or offline. So welcome back, Shamra and Lisa, on this very rainy Monday. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us, and I'm turning everything over to you now.
Great. Thanks so much for having us again. We are having so much fun this month,
Yeah.
Mental Health Awareness Month, and having these conversations with you.
Thank you.
We really, with being Mental Health Awareness Month, we really felt that this week was a good time to share our Seize the Awkward ad campaign and our hashtag Real Combo campaign, because it's important to take care of our mental health, but also to recognize within our friends, family, coworkers, and loved ones when they might be struggling, and to reach out to them to ask them if they want to have a conversation or if they need any help. So we're going to show you a couple of websites today. We'll show you a couple of the ads from the Seize the Awkward campaign, and then we'll just kind of have a talk about how to open up that conversation with your friends and why it's so important, and answer any questions that anybody might have about resources. So I'm going to share my screen with all of you.
Sham, before you do that, I was just thinking, thinking about this topic today and these two campaigns, and it makes me reminiscent about when I was first a volunteer with AFSP back in like 2006, 2007, when we were as an organization talking about how hard is it to talk about suicide, and how hard is it to talk about people struggling with mental illness issues. And it's really kind of interesting in how, as a cohort of those struggling with lived experience or those lost survivors across the country, that we got together and said, we need to figure out a way to make this cool to talk about. We need to figure out a way to be kind of open and honest about dialogue. And for decades, people were so afraid to talk about these things for fear that certainly you'd be stigmatized, or you'd lose a job, or you'd lose your family. So I have to say, and I love these two campaigns, but the idea of having a real conversation really emphasizes that fact that all those years ago, we sat and said, hey, we got to start being real with each other, or we're not going to get anywhere. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm so thrilled about these two programs.
So I'm going to pull up our Seize the Awkward campaign. I'm going to kind of scroll through the site a little bit, but I'm going to let Lisa interject and have a lot of the conversations about these programs, because I think she's a little better equipped than me. But this Seize the Awkward campaign can be found online at seizetheawkward.org. It's an ad campaign that we put together with the Ad Council and the JED Foundation to really approach our youth population with relative content and ads to encourage them, again, to open up that awkward conversation with their friends if they notice that something might be off or different, and really to make them comfortable in saying to their friends, hey, are you all right? So when you visit the website, you'll be able to scroll through, and Lisa and I will show you the website, but I would like to show you the first ad right now that really kind of launches the program. And again, you can visit this website to view it again.
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here.
As you guys can see, the video is funny, it's engaging, it's entertaining, and it really plays to our teenagers and young adults. It's interesting and relative to them. I have 4 teenagers and I've shown them this video and they all responded so positively to it. So it's such a great way to connect with your students and young adults about this kind of, opening up that awkward conversation. Do you want to add anything, Lisa?
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw this, and I don't know if the audio was good for everyone to hear it. So I encourage you to get on and check out the videos. But the first time I saw this, I was like, I don't get it, and I don't understand what they're. I mean, it was funny, and it was a bunch of 50-year-olds sitting around going, we don't get this. And AFSP National was like, it's not for you, it's for young people, it's for people in adolescence who don't open and honestly talk about anything, let alone something, like mental health or not feeling quite well enough in terms of mental health. So we thought this was a hoot once we realized that it wasn't for us, and that the polling they did with it and the trialing and piloting they did with it was really with high school and college age kids, and it really performed really well. And, our colleagues over at UNH Cooperative Extension, Rick Oliva, I know he likes to use a video or two to kind of start a conversation when he's working with young people. So we know people who are using these ads, even just to start a conversation, even for another training. So it's pretty user friendly, and I think it certainly is a great way to kind of ease up on kind of the quiet shame that goes along with kind of sharing some awkward stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to show you a little bit more about the website. So the website continues with additional ads, and we won't go through all of them. Again, we encourage you to visit the website, but there are short ads on helping young adults recognize the signs that their friends might be struggling. What are they looking for? How do they know that they need to open up this awkward conversation? And then it provides additional resources for that. And the pictures that you see now, you can scroll through to the right and to the left, and they give you additional ideas of things to look for with their friends, again, to know that they should open up.
So I think Shamra has frozen.
Yeah.
So
Lisa, what I was just gonna
take over?
Yeah, what I was just gonna add is that when I'm thinking about the public health approach to educating community about mental health conditions, and certainly as it relates to our work in suicide prevention, we think about all of the trainings, the tiered trainings of you know, training students and training teachers and educating lay people about suicide prevention, risk factors, certainly. But I think what's really cool about this one specifically is that this is a real public health approach. I mean, this has nothing to do with any training. These ads play on the TV, and like I said, they're shared as part of other trainings. But I think what kind of makes this nice is that with the influence of social media, we're able to use a product like this and, you know, and reach young people who never see a training and never have any exposure to resources. And yet we're kind of bringing this public health idea of, hey, it's okay to not know what to say. And when you're ready to talk, I'm here. And that's all I want you to know. And that's what I think it feels pretty cool to me about this product.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Shan, we lost you for a minute.
Yeah, I think I got kicked out. Yep, I'm back. You guys are stuck with me. I'm sure Lisa followed up on that, but you know, I would encourage you to share this website with your teenagers and young adults in your life, or if you're a high school teacher, to show some of these videos in your classroom, because it really helps our teenagers and young adults to see that they aren't the only ones that might be having some of these thoughts. These experiences and feelings aren't exclusive to them. And even the people in their lives that they idolize and envision having everything in the world struggle with some of these very normal thoughts as well. And these testimonials are around how to talk about mental health, how they reach out to their friends when they're struggling, how they reach out to their friends when they think their friends might have something going on. But there's just so many good things that go with this program. And then we have additional ads that help your kids see different ways that they can open up the conversation. There's a list of conversation starters. And I know Lisa Hayward and I talked about this last week. A lot of times we or our kids want to ask our friends and family members how they're doing, or if they're struggling, but we're not always really sure where to start that conversation, or what's that opening line that we could say to them to get the conversation started. So the Awkward campaign has that. And then additional resources and more videos scrolling down. But again, you know, it's a bright color, it's appealing to our youth, and it's really something that we're proud of. Our chapter will do anything that we can to support you presenting this program to your students. So we have postcards that on one side have Seize the Awkward, and the back side have some suggestions on how to start a conversation. We have little Seize the Awkward stickers, which, as you guys know, the kids are crazy about these stickers right now, to go along with the bougie look and, you know, putting them on their hydro flasks. So we have really cool stickers that go along with that too. You know, we're doing our best to be relative to them, but definitely want to show you the #RealConvo website as well. And I just wanted to see if Lisa had anything else that she wanted to add to this.
You know, I was just, as you were scrolling down, I saw Billie Eilish. And we have worked with her through the Seize the Awkward campaign. And, you know, she kind of came out before I think we grabbed her, and she was very open and just very comfortable talking about her own issues. And I think, you know, the reality of this is we do try to find people who are comfortable sharing safely their own experiences. And I think as somebody who's either you're listening to Billie Eilish music, or you're in her cohort in terms of age or experiences, you hear her share her stories and kind of discuss that there's been some uncomfortableness or trouble, and she kind of normalizes it. And I think that just like we've been trying to say here, that the Seize the Awkward platform is really, it really goes with anything you're doing, even if it's just a simple sharing time, or, you know, kind of a simple group activity where you're just trying to get kids kind of in the moment, kind of being in the moment, being mindful, and things like this really kind of set you up for that conversation. So I saw her picture and it just made me think about, she's so down to earth and real. It's kind of, she's perfect for this.
Yeah, and you may be able to see on here also that also is Noah Cyrus, who is very popular with the younger kids right now as well. She's kind of stepped into her sister Miley's place. And so to have her testimonial, and again, there are so many social media stars that our kids know that they follow on YouTube and they follow on Instagram, and to see them on this is always, you know, kind of exciting for them. We love to show this as part of our More Than Sad program as well, when we offer our More Than Sad teen depression for 6th through 12th graders. We always clip in this Seize the Awkward campaign just to provide some additional resources for our youth. But you know, I think after watching that first video, you can see that it's pretty appealing to adults as well. Lisa and I have seen that ad at least 50 times probably, and we still laugh every time it comes on. It really is funny.
Yeah.
So we're going to move from the Seize the Awkward campaign and look at our hashtag Real Combo. This is something that we are really pushing right now during the month of May, because we think that it is so important and so incredibly supportive for us during this Mental Health Awareness Month, and having conversations with our friends who may be struggling. So right at the very front of the page, and you can visit afsp.org/real combo to access all of these resources. But sometimes we, again, want to have that conversation, but we're not really sure where to start. So the very top of this website has some quick tips for having a real combo about mental health. How to, you know, open up that conversation, and some tips on not passing judgment, but really having that real conversation with them. Lisa, do you want to add anything on this, or shall I scroll through the site a little bit?
You know, I just wanted to say that I saw a press release today from AFSP. Shan, you probably saw it as well, about the recent survey that was done kind of in this time of COVID. And I think it was a poll of maybe over 1,000 people. And the questions were related to, obviously related to maybe how, if you've been feeling anxious or more worried in the time of COVID than you were before COVID. And have you found yourself reaching out to people more by social media, by Zoom platform or other Google platforms? And some of the stats coming out of that, you know, even people who would never even think of reaching out to anybody, that people are finding that there's more necessity to really check on people. And I think that really has been our message. Certainly before COVID, we launched this Real Convo probably a year or so ago. But I think now more than ever, I mean, we have people asking us all the time, what do we do? What can we do? What can people do who need help? And it's connect. We really are buying into the impact of connection. And I think there's something really valuable here, that it doesn't have to be problem solving necessarily, but it can certainly be each of us doing a better job at listening. You know, and again, it's awkward, and we know that we're going to try to seize the awkward at these times, but even just checking in frequently with people who tend to struggle, or who live alone, and really have no contact outside of a phone call or a Zoom visit or whatever. But I think this really emphasizes the impact that being connected can have. And the little poll that AFSP did really showed some high statistics on people who felt better for just a conversation. You know, no treatment, no nothing except having a conversation.
And some of our research shows now, right, that attempt survivors really wished that somebody had said to them, are you okay? Are you having thoughts of suicide? So by providing folks with the resources and helping all of us be a little bit more comfortable in asking the question, can provide additional support for those who are struggling, and I think really can save lives. Yeah. Additional resources on the Real Convo website. We have social shareables. You can look at other individuals' real stories. We have a lot of events going on this May, and you can click on the calendar to see what Facebook Live activities we have going on. We have plenty of guides for you to access. So again, information on how to start that conversation about mental health, guides for you if you're struggling on how to actually reach out for help and ask somebody to have that real convo with you, or to help you get access to additional resources. Tips for you if you are having a real combo and that person tells you that they're actually having thoughts aside. All of the resources are here at your fingertips so that you feel comfortable again about supporting yourself and others. We have a video on texting, so how to have a text message conversation of that real combo. And you can see so many different resources available. We have videos from our national staff, social shareables that you can share on your website or your Facebook and Instagram pages. Check this out, a recipe, right? It's important to be taking care of ourselves and doing things that we're connecting and are good for our mental health. So you can access recipes as well. And I won't go scrolling through everything, but as you can see, it's really a visually pleasing campaign. The social shareables are amazing. They're fun, they're bright. I know every time I share one on my personal Facebook page, I get so many hits on it. So many people like it. And I get more shares for my posts with these #real combo shareables right now than I do really anything else that I post. But I think what Lisa and I really want to make sure that you guys take away from today's conversation or are being here today is that we really do have a lot of amazing resources, not just for you, but for you to take back to your classrooms as well, to support yourself and to support your students and your students to be able to support their families as well during this kind of strange time of this pandemic when our social distancing or physical distancing, we like to call it, and not really sure where to start. So seizetheawkward.org and afsp.org/real combo. Again, we encourage you to access these resources. You can always follow our Facebook pages as well. We are posting stuff at least 3 times a day, a lot around the #RealCombo campaign. And I'll ask if Lisa wants to close with anything. And then I think Lisa Hayward has a few questions as well.
Okay. I just to reiterate, Sham, I think that this is some more tools to add to the toolbox of keeping our New Hampshire kids safe, keeping them well. We do know that isolation can be a bad thing, and anything that we can do to bring somebody out of isolation, even just for a conversation, to share a laugh or two on a silly Seize the Awkward video. Again, I can't reiterate enough the importance of connection and meeting people where they are, and being in the moment with them. We used to say in trainings, find one person that you can rely on. Find somebody that you can talk to about anything. And it may not be mom or dad, and it's hard for me to say that, but find somebody who you can trust and who can help you through something. And I think sharing information like this helps all of us be better at listening and supporting our youth during times of struggle, and certainly elevated times of struggle during this COVID experience.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa and Shamra. Every time I listen to you, I learn so much. You make me think about what I should be thinking about. You make me think about ways that I can be more positive and how I can be more supportive to members of the family and the school community and the broader community at large. So I loved the ad. The first one, the awkward ad. The sound was a little bit fuzzy, so I'm definitely going to go back and listen to it on my own time, and I encourage anyone watching this to go and do the same. But I do have a few thoughts and a few questions. So my first question to you is really about generational differences. I know, Lisa Riley, you mentioned how when you had 50-year-olds, and I shouldn't say it, but I'm in that bracket, how when we watch some of that material, we wouldn't necessarily understand it. But younger students, they can relate to those messages. What are your thoughts on how folks of our generation, so parents or educators, should actually reach out to younger students? And then I have a follow-up question to that after.
Yeah, that so is, especially as I get more gray, and I mean, I still think I'm 29, and it doesn't fly in a classroom of 16-year-olds anymore, I can assure you. So, you know, for us, I think using a seize the awkward moment, and even involving a class or a group of youth in the programming itself. So, you know, giving them some ownership of what our goals are today. You know, so if Sham and I were coming to Nashua High School, meeting with a group of sophomores, you know, we probably would start off with seize the awkward, because she and I don't have a language. She's younger than I am, so Shammy would do a lot better in that environment. But for me, I probably would start with something like seize the awkward. And then I would say something like, you know, the goals for today are to protect each other from everything that could harm you. So let's talk about what that really means, or let's talk about maybe what you're afraid of, or what are your fears, and how would you share with your best friend what your secrets are? What are you afraid of? And I think if we involve the cohort, that group, in managing, how will I work through this? What will I do? And kind of role play even with it. I think students in that age group love it. I know they love role playing with some of our stuff with More Than Sad. They love taking on the persona of those vignettes and creating really lives around them, and kind of role playing what that means outside of a video. And I think if we create an environment where we can have them almost predict or set up resources along the way in their own minds, that maybe we can help them get through some hiccups a little better. But absolutely, that this is a campaign for young people. And to me, I stop talking and let the campaign talk for itself, because they laugh, it's funny, they still aren't sure of me. But I think if I engage them and bring them in ownership of whatever we're doing in that 40-minute experience, I think that works best for me.
And I think you're also asking how we as 45 to 55, you know, open up the conversation with our kids. I think the important thing is when we start to have that conversation and we are checking in on them and asking how they're doing, that we let them know that we care about them and that we're concerned and that we're there for them and that we appreciate that their feelings are valid. It's easy sometimes as parents of teenagers to mistake some signs of maybe depression or anxiety for just being lazy and non-caring. So it's important for us as adults, when we open up that conversation with them, to appreciate their feelings, to not discredit how they're feeling, and just to be supportive and let them know that we care and that we're concerned, and most importantly, that we're here for them and to help them. We're going to get them access to the help that they need.
Thank you. So my follow-up question, and it's based on your sharing of the website, was the shot that you showed of you can have the conversation on your smartphone or walking your dog. So I want to come back to the smartphone. Now, as a mom of 3 now adult kids, I was always saying, put your phones down and talk with me face to face. So is it equally effective, do you think? Or do some students, some younger generations, do they prefer a reach out via SMS, via text message? Or do they really want someone to come in person and say, put down your phone, we're going to have a face-to-face conversation?
I'm going to jump in real quick, Sham, and then I'll let you give your mom answer. I'm going to suggest to you that it's all about options. So if your college age kid is on the West Coast and is really struggling with something and not having a good language, how do I tell mom that this is really a significant issue for me right now? That the text is that platform where I can, not anonymously because it's my mom, but I can share with you things that I can't even fathom coming out of my mouth. I may be more comfortable texting you, and versus the kid like me who could just talk forever. I think that having the option and sharing with your kids, listen, let's talk one-on-one, but you know what? If it's to the point where you can't even put a language on what's going on, I want you to do it any way you can, whether it's right
All right, I think Lisa
down
Hope you're
typing
back.
me, texting me, line, I want you.
We seem to be having some connectivity issues here. So I can see that Lisa has frozen and Shamra has not been able to log in. She's logged off. So, oh, you're back, Lisa.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It could be the weather.
Very, very likely.
Yeah.
So in sum, connecting in through whatever means we have available to us and whatever our comfort level is what you recommend that we do.
Yeah, I think so. I think that in the perfect scenario, you and I are looking at each other. You are looking at your kid from across the table or sitting on the couch, and you're having a very open, honest dialogue. The reality of that is many people don't have the language to have that, and they're shame-filled and afraid how you might react as a parent. You keep telling your kiddo that it doesn't matter. Tell me anything you need to tell me. And I think in the meantime, just say any way you can get to me, reach me with what you need to tell me. That's what I want you to do because I love you so much.
Okay, I love the message, and I think it's a perfect way for us to end the session with our connectivities going up and down. So we're going to end with, I love you so much, and I really appreciate, Lisa, your thoughts, and Shamra, who is actually not with us at the moment. She's been kicked offline, I believe.
Yeah.
So any closing thoughts?
You know, just this is the month of May. We're mental health aware. We can't wait to see you next Monday. AFSP is so proud to partner with you in any way that we can, Lisa, and just keep it real, have a real convo with me, and don't be afraid to seize the awkward.
All right, Lisa and Shamra who's not here, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you, I think, next week.
You bet.
And in sum, thank you for all of our viewers for joining us on this very cold, rainy, dark afternoon in New Hampshire and beyond New Hampshire. We look forward to having you watch this session and to join us tomorrow morning for our 9 o'clock coffee session. So thank you and have a wonderful rest of the day.